Well, the Leafs need a huge response because they did flatline on Saturday night. And if you want to dig yourself out of a hole, you have to have some fight. You have to play with desperation. And listen, they have played better on the road. There's no question about it. And they've got to remind themselves of the psychological factor for the Boston Bruins. President Trophy winner last year, 135 points, and they collapsed with a 3-1 lead against the Florida Panthers. So they know that it can happen, but they have to have that desperation. You look at a goaltender, right? When they're out of their net and they're flailing away, there's a desperation save that can happen in the playoffs. It's because there's this willingness to put everything out there. And that is exactly how they have to play. They have to play with fight. Listen, I love the passion on the bench. They need to get pissed off in that room, and they've got to bring it. But when you look at this group, you have to say, how can it happen? Well, from a tactical standpoint, not just a personnel. Listen, you can make personnel and line adjustments, but you have to make tactical adjustments as well. So Sheldon Keefe does have a road ahead of him. They have to get out of their own zone with some sort of possession. Listen, they don't have a lot of puck-moving defenders, but they have to find a way to get out, and that will take care of the neutral zone. And if the neutral zone is taken care of, they can play off of the rush a little bit, but they won't be able to get inside if they don't have any net drive. Listen, the player without the puck has to drive the net. There's no question that the Boston Bruins defense are better than the Toronto Maple Leafs, but you got to push them back. You got to make some room in the high ice and in that slot area, and you can't do that if you're not willing to fight for that primetime real estate. So that when they get in, they have to be able to do that to get those shots on net. It's going to be deflection. It's going to be a redirect, and they've got to find a way to hound those pucks. If they're forced to dump it in, guess what? They got to retrieve it. You got to be first on that thing, that little biscuit that's below the goal line. You got to win the puck battles. So for me, yes, they flatlined on Saturday night. But the measuring stick is going to be the pushback, the response at this time of year to say, hey, we are still alive.